So here's the first court order we have received about the E20 controversy. The Raipur Consumer Court has ordered Maruti Suzuki and the dealer to either replace the car or compensate the customer for the repair expenses and compensate the customer for mental agony and litigation costs. And also, the order has specified a timeline of 45 days in which this has to be paid. Now, in my opinion, this is going to actually, steamroll into many other cases that will come forward because Maruti Suzuki has said that they will appeal against this. If they appeal, they have to go to the Chhattisgarh Consumer Forum, then they have to go to the National Consumer Forum, and then Supreme Court. And it's going to gather more and more press. And when it does, it's likely that more and more people will come forward with complaints. Like, share, subscribe, sign up for our membership. You'll get a bulletin every day. Okay, so this is what happened in this particular case. There is a petitioner who said he bought a Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara Strong Hybrid Zeta Plus car January 2023, E20 compliant. He said it got repeated issues, poor performance, misfiring, gradual decline of fuel efficiency. They said that the issues persisted in spite of repeated repairs. Maruti and the dealer have both protested in court that it is E20 that has caused the problem. They are saying this is routine wear and tear and maintenance issues and other unrelated causes. However, the consumer order has said that the vehicle owner repeatedly went to authorized workshops. The vehicle continued to develop trouble and repeated attempts and there was persistent problems, and this has only strengthened the person's case. The commission has also said that E20 petrol is the most commonly available petrol and you cannot expect consumers who have no choice to avoid this petrol. What have we been saying up till now? The ruling could also draw attention to the already heated debate on E20. Now, here's the other reason why I wanted to bring this up, right? In that recent interview that Nitin Gadkari gave, when he was asked, what do I do if my car is performing badly? He said, go to consumer court. And this is what he said, quote unquote, if the machine says the average is impacted, you can go to consumer court if the vehicle's average has been hit by ethanol. And this is what an individual has done and gotten an order favorable in consumer court. Maruti Suzuki has said they will challenge the commission's verdict. And they said basically the car in this case was E20 compatible, fully equipped to handle E20 fuel, and it was also disclosed in the owner's manual. Now, I fear that this will actually open the floodgates of more such complaints in consumer court. Now, I want to bring up this article on your screen. This has been reported today. A Local Circles survey released today has said that they spoke to 22,000 petrol vehicle owners across 300 districts in the country. And they said that the respondents said that they would recover losses if they believed that E20 petrol is causing damage to their vehicles. 31% said they'll go to consumer court. 14% said they will pursue every legal option available. 45% said they will take the legal route. Meanwhile, 18% said they will seek compensation and 9% said they will seek compensation from the manufacturer. Basically, half the people who own these cars say if they have consistent problems, they all go to consumer court. Local Circles had a previous survey in which 55% of those people who have pre-2023 cars reported an unusual increase in wear and tear repair requirements since E20 petrol had been released. Now, other updates on E20, we had reported this. I brought you this story about a week ago, where petrol pump owners were saying that there was an issue of water getting into the tank underground and splitting ethanol from petrol. Now, the Hindu has reported this as well after they've spoken to petrol pump owners. Again, anonymously, they have not given their names, but basically what they're saying is that there's a problem of water entering the underground fuel storage tank, especially during the monsoon. It seeps. When the water content crosses a certain level, ethanol can bind with the water instead of remaining bound with the petrol. And what happens then is the ethanol water mixture collects at the bottom and the petrol floats on the top, as oil does with water. And you pump effectively from the bottom of the tank and not the top of the tank. And so it is an ethanol water mixture that comes out first. The Hindu reported these concerns after speaking to 3 petrol pump owners and an industry veteran. Now, Nitin Gadkari continues, to be brazen in his comments to the press. He's given one interview also to the Times of India, where he dismissed any damage that E20 causes to cars, saying that this is misinformation. And responding to questions, he said, If you don't want ethanol blended fuel, go buy 100% petrol. But there's a problem with that. It's not available everywhere. There's a handful of petrol pumps, even across the state of Maharashtra, that have 100% petrol. And when that is available, it's available at 170 rupees per liter. And that's a huge challenge. So this consumer code approach might actually become more popular among people who realize it. Nitin Gadkari himself has suggested it. And if the Raipur case, if Maruti appeals in the Raipur case, like I said, it's going to get more press. And when it gets more press, more and more people are likely to approach the consumer court. So let me know what you think. If you think that the consumer court was right in ordering Maruti Suzuki and the dealer to replace the damaged car or to pay for the damaged car. In this case, the onus falls on the car manufacturer, because the car manufacturer sold a car that is E20 compatible, and now that car is not working anymore. One is, of course, one will have to establish if it was in fact the E20 fuel that caused the damage in this one particular car. And also, is it really the fault of the car manufacturer? Because remember, this angle that is now coming in from petrol pump owners who are saying that the seeping of the monsoon rain into the underground tanks is separating ethanol from petrol and actually causing ethanol and water to collect at the bottom. So if you wind up putting only ethanol and water in your car, is that going to work? Is that going to damage the car? Remember, petrol pump owners have told me off camera that they have not been given time to make their systems compatible. So the underground tanks and the petrol pumps that they actually use were meant to be used for 100% petrol and not for a blended version of petrol, which is why they are not fully insulated against any seeping. Remember, if you have regular petrol, if you have 100% oil and a little water seeps in, it's actually not going to matter that much. But in this case, it's starting to matter. The other angle that I gathered from petrol pump owners when I spoke to them was, what they do then is that they pump out that petrol, that ethanol that has separated. So 20% of the tank is now useless. They pump it out. They have lost that money and they don't know where to dump it. So they are actually slyly dumping it in the gutters, which means it will flow into the ocean. Or they're driving out of the city and dumping it in farmland, which means it's going to pollute the farmlands. And they're saying they've not received any instruction as to what to do in these cases, and it's happening quite often. So this is actually turning into an issue on many fronts. But fundamentally, let me know what you think. Do you believe it is the petrol pump owners? Is it the manufacturer of the car? Is it the dealer? Or is it the government that is handing out this E20 petrol that should actually be held responsible for what is happening to each car?